Imagine a creature so vile, so insatiably hungry, that it doesn't just kill its victims, it tears into the living, feasting on their organs while they scream, hunting young women to satisfy a hunger that has lasted for over a century. This isn't just a monster, it is a nightmare given flesh. And tonight we are stepping into its hunting ground. Before we descend into the darkness of the Dongmat jungle, I need you to brace yourself. This story is not for the faint of heart. It is a tale of revenge, betrayal, and a family cursed by a spirit that refuses to let go. If you are new here, if you haven't yet joined our circle of storytellers, now might be the time to subscribe. You don't want to face what lies ahead alone, and you certainly don't want to miss the warning signs hidden in the shadows. Trust me, you want to be here when the lights go out. Now picture this, a groom stands at the altar waiting for his bride. But she never comes. Instead, she is locked in a room somewhere else, possessed by a force that is forcing her to tear her own teeth out, one by one, as a sacrifice to a demon waiting in the walls. This is the fate that awaits the family at the center of our story today. But to understand how we got here, we must go back to a time when the monster was just a whisper in the wind. Our saga begins in the terrifying, dense jungles of Thailand, a place known as Dongmat. It is a labyrinth of green hell, a place so cursed that local legends say it is inhabited by the most fearsome ghosts and spirits known to man. They say that once you enter this jungle, the Maya, the illusion, traps you. No one who has ever entered has returned alive, but one man, a young man named Yak, is desperate enough to try. 3 years ago, a terrifying spirit, a Petne, devoured his sister Yam. Since that tragic day, Yak has lived with only one purpose: to hunt this monster down and destroy it. He wants revenge. He wants to rip the spirit apart just as it ripped his family apart. But the question that haunts him is simple. Will he be able to navigate the illusions of the jungle, survive the ghosts that guard it, and avenge his sister? Or will he become just another meal for the entity that has haunted his bloodline for generations? To find the answer, we must peel back the layers of time. Let's go back, way back, to where the horror truly began. The year was 1854. The air was thick with the smell of gunpowder and blood on a battlefield in Thailand. War was raging, and the ground was littered with the bodies of fallen warriors. Amidst the carnage, we focus on a specific group of Thai soldiers who were trying to retreat after a brutal skirmish. Among them was a young soldier named Puang. He was badly wounded, his life slipping away with every beat of his heart. As he lay there fading, he grabbed his friend's hand. With his dying breath, he told him, "If I die, go to my wife. Tell her that I loved her until my very last second." But fate, it seemed, was crueler than death itself. Before he could finish his sentence, gunfire erupted. The enemy had launched a surprise counterattack. It was a massacre. The soldiers were outnumbered, outmaneuvered, and the battlefield was riddled with buried mines. Explosions tore through the earth, sending bodies flying. In moments, the retreat turned into a slaughter. Pang was thrown to the ground, barely alive. Through the smoke and dust, he watched helplessly as the enemy soldiers moved in to finish off his comrades. He knew death was inevitable. With the last of his strength, he reached for his rifle. He didn't intend to fight. He intended to take his own life, to deny the enemy the satisfaction of killing him. But just as his finger brushed the trigger, he saw something in the bushes. A figure. It wasn't a soldier, it was a woman, but she looked wrong. Ethereal. Terrifying. It was the Petni, the spirit that sang the song of death. Pong froze. The spirit glided toward him. Suddenly, an enemy soldier spotted Pawang. The soldier raised his weapon, ready to fire, but then time seemed to stop. The soldier stood frozen, his eyes wide with a terror he couldn't comprehend. The Petni spoke to Pawang, her voice with a whisper that cut through the noise of the battlefield. She offered him a choice. "You don't have to die today," she said. "I can save you, but in return, you must let me inside you." Desperation is a powerful drug. Pawang, staring death in the face, agreed. The Petni smiled a smile that promised nothing but pain. She reached out and sliced her own tongue, letting the dark, magical blood drip into Pawang's mouth. Instantly, his body convulsed. He thrashed on the ground as the spirit entered him, merging with his soul. Around him, chaos continued, but the enemy soldiers began to act strangely. One by one, they turned their weapons on themselves. They shot each other. They shot themselves. It was a trance, a mass suicide orchestrated by the spirit's will. Within moments, the enemy was dead, and Pong was alone, breathing heavily, his eyes now holding a darkness that hadn't been there before. He stood up, healed but cursed. He was no longer just a man. He was a vessel for a monster. He looked up and saw the Petni standing before him, no longer just a spirit, but a part of him. The scene fades and we jump forward in time. We arrive at the timeline of the first story. The year is effectively the present day, post-1975. A character named Yam has already died, sacrificed to the Petni. However, her brother, Pafon, survived a gunshot wound that should have killed him. Now, Pafon and Yak, the older brother, have dedicated their lives to hunting the spirit. Their search has led them to a house where a man is possessed by a demon, a lesser demon, but a dangerous one nonetheless. Yak, sensing the dark energy, prepares for an exorcism of sorts. But before he can act, the possessed man speaks. His voice is distorted, mocking. "You will never find the Petni," he hisses. "You will search until the moment you die." Yak's blood boils. He remembers his sister Yom, how she was taken from them. He doesn't have time for games. He hands a bottle of holy water to Pafon and tells him to prepare the trap. Yak douses a cloth in the water, his hands steady, his eyes locked on the possessed man. What follows is a violent confrontation. The demon, trapped in a man's body, fights with supernatural strength. It throws Yak across the room, taunting him, refusing to reveal the location of the Petni. It tries to escape, rushing toward the door, but Pafon has already set the trap. He flips a set of stairs. Yes, physically turns the staircase, creating a disorienting illusion that confuses the spirit. With the demon cornered and weakened by the holy water, Yak pulls out a special gun. It's loaded with bullets etched with sacred symbols. He aims it at the man's leg. "I will ask you one last time," Yak growls. "Where is she?" The demon, now fearing for its existence, finally cracks. It speaks a name and a place. Donkmat, it rasps. The keeper lives there. His name is Pol. Yag freezes. Pol, the warrior from 1854. He is still alive? Or perhaps he is the key to finding the Petni. The demon offers a deal. "Spare me, give me a new body, and I will tell you everything." Yak, being a man of his word but a clever one, agrees. He hands the demon a fish, a dried fish, which acts as a vessel in this ritual. The spirit leaves the man and enters the fish. The man collapses, alive but exhausted. Pafon looks at Yak, expecting him to release the fish into a river or something. But Yak does the unthinkable. He walks over to a fire pit and throws the fish into the flames. The fish writhes, then turns to ash. "You promised," Pafon shouts. "I promised him a new body," Yak replies coldly. "I didn't promise him life. If I let him go, he would just possess someone else. I ended the threat." It was a ruthless decision, but it showed just how far Yak was willing to go. They had a lead now. Poang was in the jungle of Donkmat. Pafon pulls out an old history book he found. It tells the fragmented story of Poang. After the war, Poang returned to his village, but he wasn't the same. He built a hut on the outskirts and began practicing dark magic, worshipping the entity inside him. The village lived in fear. They said Poang's Petni had eaten 3 villagers. Finally, the villagers had enough. They hired a monk and launched an attack on Poang's hut. They set it on fire, hoping to burn the evil alive. But Poang didn't burn. He fled. He ran straight into the forbidden jungle of Donkmat. The jungle, Pafon explained, is a place where the laws of nature don't apply. It is a sanctuary for supernatural beings. Entering it means fighting an army of ghosts. Pafon had been there once as a child and barely escaped with his life. He warned Yak if they go in, they might never come out. But Yak was resolute. "The Petni has been hiding for 3 years," he said. "She's been feeding on unborn children, leaving them born with bloated stomachs and missing organs. But soon, she will be strong enough to hunt adults again. We have to kill her before that happens." Pafon tried to argue. He suggested Yak stay back to protect his remaining family, his younger sister Yad, who was about to be married, and his other siblings. Yak refused. He couldn't sit idle, but he agreed to one thing. Before they left for the jungle, he would visit his family one last time. The scene shifts to a warm, vibrant household. Yak's family is preparing for Yad's wedding. There is laughter, music, and the smell of sweet food. It's a stark contrast to the grim reality Yak lives in. Yad is happy. She has found a man she loves, a kind-hearted soul who promises to take care of her. Yak arrives and the mood shifts. He is the prodigal son, the brother who has been absent for 3 years, chasing ghosts. His father greets him with a stiff hug. There is tension there. The father wants Yak to stop hunting, to settle down, to be safe. You haven't spent a single night under this roof since Yam died, his father scolds him. Give up this obsession. Yak looks at his father, his eyes tired. The monk, Mr. Putt, told me this Petni is vengeful. She won't stop until she erases our bloodline. If I stop now, she will come for all of you. That night, Yak sits with his brothers. It's a solemn gathering. They talk about the past, about Yam. They talk about the fear that still grips the house every night. His father, despite his tough exterior, sleeps with a rifle by his side, guarding the door. They all know the danger is real. Yad, the bride-to-be, comes to Yak. She doesn't ask him to stay. She knows he can't. But she makes him promise he will be back for the wedding. Yak looks at his little sister, her eyes full of hope, and he promises. I will be there, he swears. I will walk you down the aisle. The next morning, Yak and Puffin set out for Donkbat. Their truck breaks down near a small market village. They try to hire a ride, but the locals are terrified. No one wants to go to the cursed jungle. As they stand there, frustrated, a pickup truck pulls up. A man steps out. His name is Luchai. Luchai is a rugged man with a scarred face. He looks at Yak and Puffin and guesses their intention. You're going to the jungle, he states. It's not a question. I'm going there too. Get in. In the truck, Luchai explains his story. He reveals that he is a descendant of the villagers who burned Pong's hut. He believes the Petni has cursed his family line, hunting them down one by one. He wants to find Pong and end the curse. It seems their goals align. Accompanying Luchai are his 2 nephews, Sam and Nawin, and a local shaman named Kam. Also with them is a hunter who knows the lay of the land. Sam, one of the nephews, is young, arrogant, and skeptical. He mocks Yak. He jokes about Yam's death, making crude remarks about how the Petni ate her. Yak's jaw tightens. He grips his gun. Luchai slaps Sam, warning him to show respect, but the damage is done. The tension in the truck is palpable. They arrive at the edge of the jungle. The air grows cold. The trees are twisted, their branches looking like gnarled fingers scratching the sky. Before entering, the shaman, Kam, performs a ritual. He needs to ask permission from the spirits to enter. He uses a knife to make an offering. He tries to channel the spirits, but he fails. The spirits reject him. Then, Yak steps forward. He picks up the knife. He concentrates. In an instant, the atmosphere shifts. The spirits accept him. The shaman is shocked. The spirits know you, he whispers. They have been waiting for you. They enter the jungle. It is a suffocating place. The sounds of the outside world vanish, replaced by whispers, rustling leaves, and the distant sound of chanting. Puffin warns them. Don't trust anything you see. Don't believe anything you hear. As they walk deeper, they encounter a massive cobra. It blocks their path. Its hood flared. Puffin tells everyone to freeze. It's a guardian, he whispers. If we don't provoke it, it will let us pass. But the hunter, the so-called expert, ignores the warning. He steps forward, raising his weapon, shouting at the snake to move. The cobra strikes. In a blur of motion, it bites the hunter. He screams, falling to the ground, convulsing. Within seconds, he is dead. Panic sets in. Sam, the arrogant nephew, is terrified. He blames Yak and Puffin, but Luchai shuts him down. We follow their rules now, he commands. They decide to camp for the night. They build a platform in the trees to stay off the ground, hoping it will offer some protection. As night falls, the jungle comes alive. Strange, mournful cries echo through the darkness. It sounds like a woman singing a lullaby that makes your skin crawl. Suddenly, they hear a voice calling for help. It's the hunter's voice. Help me! I'm still alive! Come down. Pafan grabs Sam's arm as he tries to climb down. Don't, Pafan warns. That's not him. They look down and see the hunter's body standing at the base of the tree, but his head is missing. The body is mimicking his voice, luring them down. Sam, paralyzed by fear, hears a whisper in his ear. Jump, the voice says. It sounds like Pafan. Sam, thinking it's an order, jumps. But as he falls, he sees the truth. Pafan never spoke. It was a trick. Sam lands in the darkness below. Instantly, he is surrounded. He fires his gun blindly, but the creatures are everywhere. He feels a heavy weight on his shoulders. It's the shaman's headless body, climbing onto him. Sam screams as the creature forces the gun under his own chin. His finger, possessed, pulls the trigger. Sam's head explodes and his body falls lifeless. Up on the platform, Yak, Pafan, and Luchai hear the gunshot. They know Sam is gone. Nawin, the other nephew, who had wandered off earlier, is also missing. Luchai is distraught. He wants to go look for them, but Yak knows it's suicide. We have to keep moving, Yak says. We have to find Pong. They descend from the platform and continue their trek, but the jungle is playing with them. Nawin, who had gotten separated, finds himself in a clearing. He sees Luchai standing there. Uncle, he cries, running towards him. But it's not Luchai. It's a shapeshifter, a tiger spirit that can take human form. Nawin realizes too late. He is surrounded by pale, skeletal figures. Pisakis, flesh-eating ghouls. He begs for his life, promising to worship them, promising to become a monk if they spare him. The ghouls seem to consider it. But then, a low growl vibrates through the air. The tiger spirit leaps from the darkness. In one swift motion, it rips Nawin in half. The screen fades to black as his screams are cut short. Back with the main group, Yak and Pafan are desperate. They need a safe haven. Pafan remembers a legend about a salt field, a place where spirits cannot tread. They search frantically, and finally, they stumble upon a clearing where the ground is covered in white salt. They rush inside, drawing a circle of protection. Just as they settle, a figure runs toward them. It's Nawin. He looks terrified. Help me, he screams. Let me in! Luchai, seeing his nephew alive, rushes to let him in, but Yak blocks the way. Stop, Yak shouts. He holds a gun to Nawin's chest. He's not human. Nawin pleads, crying, begging. Luchai is furious, attacking Yak. That's my nephew. Let him in. Yak holds his ground. If he is human, he will speak the mantra, Yak demands. Say the prayer we taught you. Nawin stares blankly. He tries to speak, but he can't. He stammers. The prayer is impossible for a spirit to utter. Nawin's face twists in rage. He lunges at them, and in the blink of an eye, he shapeshifts into a massive, spectral tiger. He roars, a sound that shakes the trees, and disappears into the jungle. They are safe for the night. But morning brings a new reality. It is the day of Yod's wedding, and the demon is no longer just hiding in the jungle. Back at the wedding venue, a community hall, the atmosphere is tense. A storm is brewing outside. Rain lashes against the windows. The guests are worried because Yak hasn't arrived yet. Yod is trying to stay positive, but she feels a knot of dread in her stomach. Inside the hall, the lights flicker. A radio turns on by itself, playing a static-filled song, the same lullaby from the jungle. The father, a hardened man, knows something is wrong. He rushes to the car and retrieves a bag Yak had left for them. Inside are gun special weapons for the family. He hands them out to his sons. Load them, he orders. Suddenly, Yod is missing. She had gone to a back room to fetch some ribbons. Her mother and her younger sister go looking for her. They walk down a long, dark corridor. The lights go out completely. In the darkness, the mother feels a hand grip hers. Yad? She asks. A voice answers, Yes, mother. But then, the lights flash for a second. The mother sees that the hand she is holding is transparent. She looks up and sees the Petney standing there, a grinning nightmare. The spirit possesses the mother instantly. Yad's fiancé, Pradip, runs to help, but he is ambushed by the possessed mother. She attacks him with a knife, stabbing him while Yad's brothers try to hold her back. They can't shoot their own mother. It's a paralyzing dilemma. Meanwhile, the younger sister, the little girl, runs in terror. She is chased by an old woman, a servant of the Petni. The little girl hides, but the old woman finds her. She tries to extract the girl's teeth, a ritual to feed the Petni. The girl manages to stab the old woman with an umbrella and escapes, running blindly into the hall. She runs into her possessed mother. The mother grabs her, lifting her off the ground. Just as she is about to choke the life out of her, a gunshot rings out. It's the younger brother. He shoots the mother in the leg, incapacitating her. They tie her up, but the threat isn't over. The doors slam shut. The windows shatter. The Petni is here in her true form. She wants revenge. She wants the final tooth. Yad is cornered in her room. The spirit appears to her as Yam, her dead sister. Yad, the spirit whispers, give me your body. Let me live again. Yad, seduced by the image of her sister, hesitates. But then she sees the reflection in a mirror. The creature is a rotting corpse. Yad snaps out of the trance. She grabs a pair of scissors and stabs the illusion. But the Petni is powerful. She forces Yad to the ground, forcing her own hand into Yad's mouth, trying to rip out her teeth. Suddenly, the doors burst open. A figure stands in the doorway, silhouetted against the storm. It's Yak. He is alive. He is wounded, bleeding, but he is standing. Behind him stands Pafan, and in Yak's hand, he holds a bracelet, the bracelet of Ponga. Flashback to the jungle. Yak and Pafan had reached Palm's lair. They found him inside a cave, surrounded by voodoo dolls. Pawang wasn't a villain. He was a prisoner. He had been trying to bind the Petni, but the villagers' attack had interrupted the ritual, allowing her to escape. Pawang gave Yak the bracelet. It was made of bone and magic. As long as you wear this, Pawang said, she cannot see you, and if you drive this nail into her forehead, she will be destroyed. But Luchai, the ally, betrayed them. In a desperate bid to save his own family from the curse, he made a deal with the Petni. He cut off Bon's hand to steal the bracelet, hoping the Petni would spare him. The Petni took the piece of tongue she needed from Pawang and killed Luchai instantly for his trouble. Yak, with the bracelet now in his possession thanks to a struggle, escaped the jungle. Back in the present, Yak confronts the Petni. She is confused. She can't see him clearly because of the bracelet's power. She tries to attack, but Yak is faster. He tackles her, pinning her to the ground. This is for Yam, he screams. He takes the magical nail the talisman and drives it into the Petni's forehead. The demon shrieks, a sound that shatters the glass in the hall. She thrashes, her skin turning to dust, her body disintegrating into ash. The room goes silent. The mother, now free from possession, collapses. The family gathers around Yak. He is badly hurt, but he is smiling. He looks at Yad. I promised I'd be here, he whispers. And then, a miracle. In the corner of the room, a faint light glows. They all turn to look. Standing there is Yam. Not the monster, but the real Yam. Her soul is finally free. She looks at her brothers and sisters, tears in her eyes. She smiles a sad, beautiful smile, and fades away into the light. The nightmare is over. The family is safe. Yak has kept his promise. He has avenged his sister and saved his family. As the rain stops and the sun begins to rise, the weight of the past 3 years lifts. They have survived the unkillable. They have faced the darkness and won. But as we close this chapter, I can't help but wonder, what price do we pay for revenge? Yak lost his youth, his peace, and almost his life, but he saved his family. Was it worth it? I think the answer lies in that final moment, seeing Yam smile. If this story sent a chill down your spine, if you found yourself holding your breath during that final fight, please take a moment to leave a comment. I read every single one. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. We explore these dark corners of cinema together, and trust me, there are many more stories waiting in the shadows. Thank you for watching, or rather, for reading. Stay safe, and don't let the whispers in the jungle call your name.